an artist, author, and spiritual experiencer. Welcome to Call Me Zena, a true story into the spiritual realms. Join me as I sit and discuss the journey of self-discovery, and with the help of my spirit guides, it's time to trust your intuition. Sit with me and call in live 888-994-4995 Studio A. And now onto the show.
Hi, good afternoon everybody, and welcome back to my show. I would love people to call in and ask me any question you want. The theme today is
overcoming obstacles.
Overcoming obstacles, and I guess it's an appropriate theme right now with what's going on in the world today. We need to detach from ourselves and kind of go within and see how much we can raise the vibrational energy. Unfortunately, there is a lot going on right now, and I understand that, but hopefully my show can just give you a little bit of peace, a little bit of understanding to raise our energy, because it's so important for the world today. And I thank you, and I have a special guest today, my very good friend Alicia. Thank you for being with me today. And
it's an honor to be here with you, Sally.
Thank you.
Zena, the warrior, spiritual warrior.
I just want to give a shout out also to my husband, Steve. He happens to be in the audience today.
Steve.
And anybody that knows what he's been going through, he made the effort to come to my show today. So good vibrations are going towards. And Freddie, who's sitting in the audience here, waiting for your questions.
Like a millennial.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so let's start the show on the theme of basically, again, if I give myself, just to explain where I'm coming from, and I think it's important, I work with my spirit guides, and this is very important maybe for people that maybe believe it or maybe not, but they're very helpful for me, and I had trying to explain also to myself that I always need that question, because for some reason it helps me and my guides. So if I get a question, and anybody that's watching my show can see that I do not have to think, it will come to me. Once I put myself into this, for some reason I get a little lost. So I guess everybody in the audience does understand that. So here we are, Alicia. It's up to you now to give me the questions, if you don't mind. Thank you.
My thing is that, you know, I turn on the news, and it's like when my segment of yoga came in, and it was about false evidence appearing real, which is fear. Mm-hmm. Because we are so downloaded with fear everywhere. And how would you handle that in the spiritual sense because of what's going on?
Well, again, I'm going to say let's uplift our psyche, who we are. Unfortunately, we all have it, and me especially too. We have a tendency to think about negativity a lot. But let's focus on the things that are going right in our life today. Unfortunately, we turn on the news and it brings us back to where we are in this negative, it is a negative world right now. Yes, yeah. So I can talk all I want about negativity and positivity, but we have to play on that. We have to act on that. We turn the news on, and I'm not suggesting, as some people do not watch the news. I truly believe that we have to watch a little bit of the news, because it's real. It's here in our what's going on.
Updated.
But we have to not focus so much on that. So if there's something that we don't like, and unfortunately in the news today, there's a lot that we don't like. Let's not take it in, but look at it from a point of view that let's see what we can do to help that situation. It all starts within us. So if we start to begin to see all the negativity and we continue with that, it's bringing our vibrational energy for everybody all around the world, because they all see what's happening right now. They're going into a lower vibration. It's not easy what I'm saying, and I have problems too, but let's try and lift that vibration and give a prayer for whatever you want to do. Prayer, I believe, in Mass is, if we all say, please help the world today, everybody. It doesn't have to be, as certain people say, a certain time. At any time when we hear something negative, say, whoever you believe in, it doesn't matter. And we were discussing that. It doesn't matter what religion. There is a power greater than us. Let's talk to that power. Let's pray to that power. But if we all come together, I'm not saying, I can't even tell you that it will work, but it helps. It helps. We're going through a very difficult transition right now. But having said that, I believe that the earth today needs to have, and we had discussed this, Steve, my husband is here today, that we need to go through that transition to be able to lift ourselves out of it. Because if we don't recognize it, we can't do that. But if we just don't need to take it in that much. If we say, okay, this is happening, what can I do in any situation to help? I believe in the power of prayer. It doesn't matter who or what you are, what color you are, what religion, but pray, because we're talking in mass to something greater than ourselves.
So is there anything other than individual prayer that we as individuals can do to help alleviate the situation that's going on in the Middle East and in Eastern Europe?
Thank you for that question, because it's obviously on everybody's mind, because we turn on the news and see these terrible things that are happening. Okay, again, I'm going to bring it back to us as an individual, because, you know, you hear we're all one. Can I explain that? No, but I do believe it. We may not understand it. Say, let's try and stop this, whatever is happening, because there are powers greater than what we're talking about even, that maybe even, and I don't like to bring this up because it's very controversial, but there are people that are actually wanting this to happen. Let's forget that I even said that, but bear in mind that that is happening, okay? We can, as a group of people, you hear light workers today, they can change that situation. Believe that you can change it. That's the first step. Okay, believe that there is something greater that can change this. En masse, we can. And this is just coming to me, but it's coming to me strongly. Please try to remain positive. That's all I say. And I often say that in my show, to, you know, every time I talk, remain positive. But be aware of that negativity that's coming in to change it into a positive situation. It's not easy.
Well, to follow up what they were talking about, the two before me, I wanted to also jump on a different segment. Fear is one thing, but when you're taught fear, so you're a child in a house, and people they have fear all around them, and they teach you fear. How do you overcome something taught, especially after you're 18, let's say an adult? How do you loosen that fear up?
I think the first, what's coming to me and what they're telling me is to be aware of that, because we can go and follow our fear, and we can do that most of our life, be fearful. However, if we're aware that that's what's happening, we can't change anything unless we're aware of it, and I'm sure everybody here agrees with that. So the fact that we're talking about it, the fact that we're fed a lot of fear, even from the moment we're born. And this came to me the other day. What happens when we're born? They hit us, okay? I don't know if they do that so much today. So we cry. Surely there's a kinder, gentler way to enter this world, but we have to breathe. So we're taught I mean, this just came to me, but I thought about it. We come into this world and we're given I don't know if I may be wrong, because my children were born a long time ago, but that's what they did to make us breathe. Let's try and change that. Be aware of that. So all the negativity, and unfortunately, it's in the news. It happens all the time. The first step is be aware of this. Be aware also that we can en masse, not one person. It goes from one person to the next to change this. It's not easy. It's very difficult, because we're living in times that are, but you know what? We're living in bad times. But if you go back into history, how many things happened many thousands of years ago? I mean, some of the things that you think that people even looked at, they looked at, I don't even want to bring it into our minds, but how they would watch people being hung and things like this. This is bad. So we need to, at the moment where we are now, I believe that Earth is going through a transition. I believe that the children coming in today, this is my belief, are saying they know a lot of this. My belief is that we choose to come in when we're needed and when we need to learn. Right now, there are children that are being born. They call them light workers or whatever you want to call it. They don't always remember why they came in. but they hear, I'm going to say to save our planet. So let's help them. Let's listen to them when they talk about maybe you're not my mummy from another life. People say, what are they talking about? But let's try and listen to the children that are coming in. Not only now, they're in their 20s and 30s, some of these kids today. They do understand, but they need to what we call wake up. We have a chance to change this. We have the opportunity to change the negativity. Let's listen to the children. Let's listen to the people that are beginning to wake up. It's a very good message that we have from within. Unfortunately, the exterior is not that great because we listen to the news a lot, and there's a lot of bad things happening in the world today. I have a caller. Okay, we have a caller. Hi, caller. Who is calling in? And
Hey there.
who are we talking to?
Hey there, Sally. It's Pete. Usually
I
in the
recognize
studio
you.
with you. I got a question for you.
Thank you for calling in, Pete. Okay, my question.
Here's the question. Yeah, I just had a dream the other night, and it was the most unusual dream I've ever had, where I was doing a reading for somebody in my dream, and then we turned around and said to each other, this feels like deja vu. So what do you think was going on?
Well, without knowing your dream and not knowing what the situation was, if you felt, and I realize you are advanced, Pete, you know that too, and I think,
Right.
you know, I don't always remember what I say to you, but I think it was important. I think can you just repeat that? Having said that, I need to just hear the end of what you said. Can you just repeat what you said?
Sure. In the dream, I was doing a reading, psychic reading with somebody, and then the two of us inside the dream said to each other, this feels like deja vu.
Okay, do you have any remembrance of what you were talking about at all? Because I think it was a positive
Yes.
sign, okay? If you could
Yes,
just let me know
I
for
do
a minute.
remember. We were talking about the person's positives in their life.
Okay, well, that's a message, and that's a message that you needed to maybe call into the show, because positivity is very important, and it's for people that have that intuition, that have this positive message. We need to continue with that, Pete. Thank you for calling in. Okay, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay.
I just wanted to make a comment. 70% of our bodies is water, as 70% of the earth. These scientists did this test where they had these bottles of water, and half of them they spoke beautiful things to, and they froze it, and half of it they put negative words to it, and they put in the freezer. And then when they took it out, they would take a microscope and they would dissect it and look into it. And under a microscope, when they spoke the beautiful words, it was all crystallized, the beautiful ones. And it was the opposite with the ones that was negativity. And that goes back to what our intentions are on earth. Think about it. If, like you said in the beginning, if we all prayed and we all put in positive energy and we treat each other with love, as we spoke earlier, you and I said that God is love.
Right.
So we utilize that and put into the manifestation of the earth and how people should have the intention of living here on earth. Imagine that.
Perfect, absolutely perfect. And I've had experience myself with this. I'm not great with plants, you know, things that are growing in my home. I'm going, well, they call it a green finger, hand, or whatever you want to say, but I'm aware of that today, and as you can attest to this with the plants outside on the patio, I realize that I need to talk to my plants. I need to water them because they're asking for water, and they're flourishing. They are great, and you know that, Steve.
You're very proud of those plants.
I
as I'm
sure
proud of you.
am, because I feel that they are outside, they're on the patio, but they feel just like us. It's hard to explain, but you get it. So, okay, so I'm very proud of these plants. They're looking towards the sun. They're looking towards the light, and their leaves are all going towards the light. This is a good thing. So this is the same with us. We need to concentrate on that. We need to look at the light. We need to understand that maybe we can make a difference. It's all to do with how we feel. And
Our
I'm-
intentions.
Absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely.
I agree.
And I mean, I can talk and talk about this. And you know what? People used to tell me the same thing. I did not believe this. Today, I'm a big believer of this. Your intention of what you put out is who and what you are, and it will happen. They say talk. It doesn't, just to the universe, to Mother Earth, whatever we need to do. Just talk to yourself, look in the mirror and say, this is what I want. That intention is so important. But the second part of this is you have to believe it, because without that faith, doesn't matter color, religion, it makes no difference. And we were talking about that. It all has, the finish is important. Believe that you are talking to something greater than ourselves. Whatever you believe does not matter. It doesn't matter at all. But just know that this is real. It's real. And we can, in mass, make a difference.
Exactly. And what an opportunity we all have to be alive, you know?
Yes. And I was thinking about that too. I look at people and I say, we've all come in at this particular time. Everyone that's listened to this show, babies that are being born. There's a reason. Oh my God, I'm getting my, what they call famous goosebumps. I need to say that. We're not here by accident at this particular time. It's so important to understand that, and I'm having problems. I also have problems. We are all one, but we are. And Marita, I have to say a shout out to you, and I know you're listening to my show, and you often remind me of that. We are all one. Hi, Marita, if you're listening, and I know you are. Okay, we have, and all we have is love. Let's do this.
Let's be
love
love.
one another.
Yes.
Love one
Yes.
another. We don't get it.
No
Alicia.
ego
we
involved.
Don't. No
Yes.
ego. No
Yes.
ego.
So how do we not buy in to the negative fields, negative frequencies? You know, Steve is here today, and I said to him, to heal, you have to stay above the rim. You got to stay on the positive side. So how do you prevent, because the world is not a perfect place, how do you prevent being surrounded, especially when it comes to family members? Can't pick your family.
I get it. I get it completely. But I'm not here to say I do all these things. But the most important part of this is to have that understanding, to know that when you're doing something, and yes, do I have negative thoughts? Absolutely, I have negative thoughts. But I try to overcome that. I'm saying, in the big picture, how important is it? This is very important for me to say that, because when something is going wrong and I feed into that, I find it gets worse. This is me personally, but I believe that that's what's happening, and I talk about this. So let's follow this path. And people go, oh, there she goes with the positivity again. And I say to myself, I've had enough of this positivity. I'm human, I'm here. But I know that it works. So let's tune into that positivity. Let's know that there's something greater than ourselves. If religion is what helps you, absolutely okay. Anything that helps you. Let's feed into the positivity of whatever it is. Let's try to see why this is happening. I feel that right now Earth is at a crossroad. We can go one way, we can go the other. Actually, the key to this is balance. And it's funny because I was just reading about Libra, which I am, which is the sign of balance. And I talk about balance a lot. Let's try and go that straight way. It's very important. But without seeing the negativity, and this is coming to me right now, and they're telling me, we can't see the positivity. Without positivity, we actually do need both sides of this. But let's take the road that takes us onto positivity, not negativity. Stay on that road, as my Aldo used to say to me, keep in the balance. He used to talk to me about the Tao. I knew nothing too much about that, but it's a straight road. Let's go not that way or even too much into positivity. Let's keep that balance and understand that we're on a journey that's going to take us somewhere in the end, but let it be positive.
And I mentioned earlier to Steve, I said, you know, we have this beautiful gift called free will, where we can choose, we can decide what direction we're going to go in this life. And so in terms of someone is unhappy or someone is sick, we can really, and it's not easy, It's not easy. That's something that we can specifically decide, okay, I am going to go this direction. I'm going to get better, whatever it is. And really believe that, as you said, believe that. And that's what you also said about the faith. You have to have faith. If we've been given this gift that we can decide, we can choose. And thank God we live in this country also. But that's a whole other topic. But with that said, what did it just say? The positive side? Always choose the positive side?
Yes, as best that we can, absolutely. But I think the first step towards this is the awareness. Believe that this is possible, because you can continue with negativity. And if you don't understand that, you're not going to see that. You have to see the positivity of whatever the situation is. It's really important. We have become very good friends, Alicia.
Right.
And I think, we may have a different belief system behind us, but what does it matter? I've said to you, it doesn't matter. The road is where it's taking us, to know that there is a power greater than ourselves that let's talk to, not necessarily ourselves, but to the power that is greater than ourselves. I believe it's a higher self that's in contact with someone. I don't expect everybody to follow necessarily what I believe, but the belief is what's important. Believe that anything is possible. We can change this. We can keep on about what's happening right now. It is all negative. It's terrible. You switch on the news, and I listen, as you know. Let's listen to some of what CNN has to offer us. It's very repetitive, but we can. I believe we can, in mass, do something about this.
I agree. We are the majority.
Yes,
if you think
we are.
about it, we are the majority. So we
Absolutely.
can't allow these viruses to infiltrate into our lives
Absolutely.
and dominate our narrative.
Absolutely. I could not have said that better. Thank you. And my guides that are with me right now are saying, good job, well done. Okay.
Cheers.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Any questions more on this, or maybe it's okay, we can change the theme.
Well, sticking with the positivity thing,
Okay.
another special shout out to cousin Linda, who tomorrow will be undergoing hip surgery, and she's very scared. And I was wondering if there's any special message that your collective might have for Linda.
Well, right now, and I know, Linda, you have followed and watched my show, nearly every show, and thank you for that. Just remain positive. I understand that you're going through having to have surgery, but if we all put positivity out for you, and what time is the surgery?
Well, she has to be there at 6:30.
Okay, so we'll just send a message. Anybody that's listening, say, please, positive results. All you have to say is for Linda. It'll go to the right place. Linda believes. I know she may not understand a lot of what I'm talking about, and you know that too, but she has been a faithful follower for my program. I don't think she's missed one show, and this has been about 17 months. So it's a shout out to you, Linda. You have a lot of people on your side. They now know tomorrow is the time that we need to say, doesn't matter, we just mention your name. Send you positive vibes. You're going to be fine. Okay? Thank you. Thank you for
Sally.
bringing that up.
Sally, we just had Steve, they just passed away on Friday. And he's left, kids behind and an ex-wife or wife. I still haven't found out where we are with that. And a lot of friends behind, which are hurting today. All weekend, they just wrote in, they were shocked. And the circle of life is part of living to death and so forth and so on. Any messages that we should give those that when we lose people, it's really funny, it comes in threes. And there's another friend that we're burying on the 22nd, Mr. Happy, the gentleman, and Dawn's not here, I can't remember his name, but he was always in studio as well. He's being buried on the 22nd as well. Any messages of positivity when you lose someone that you're close to?
Well, I feel that, I can talk personally for myself. In the space of a year and a half, I've lost many relatives that have been very close to myself. So all I know, and obviously, as you know, my viewers know, I lost my daughter. 2 months before that, I lost my stepmother, who I was very close to. Before that, I lost an ex-husband. And before that, I lost my very good friend Aldo, who you know who it is. So I feel, I can only tell you what I have done. It happens. Life and death are all part of our living. But just know, and this is really important, and it's helped me tremendously, that you continue. I'm not going to say that you can see them in person, because you can't. They've transitioned. But believe that they are still around you, This is so important. Having lost, in a matter of a year and a half, actually, people so dear to me, I still talk to them. And you know what? And if anybody's listening, know that they will give you messages. Absolutely. Be it on a tag, on a license plate on a car. I turn my radio on. I talk to my friend Aldo, who was my guide for 18 years that was here. I say, give me a song that I will relate to, that I'll know it's you. If I've had a conversation, which I did the other day with someone, and I was hoping he listened. The song that came on was absolutely incredible. It was about my daughter and her name, Sweet Caroline. So I believe this. Do I expect everybody to believe it? No, absolutely not. But be aware that this can happen. Look for the signs. As they say, and I think it was on a commercial, the signs, as you know, are all around you. As long as you, I love that, stay positive. Remember that they can give us these signs. We may not always listen, but once you open your mind to that, you will see that there are signs that will come about, okay? Okay, so if that helps a little bit for the people that have lost these dear people, yes, they're not with us in physicality, but I believe they're still with us in spirit. That's my message. They are with us.
And it's interesting how, because we're so conditioned to think that death is the end of it all, when really the spiritual world is a blanket away, you know?
Absolutely.
So, because I lost my father when I was very young, so, and my mother still has dreams with him visiting her.
And people say, you know, if they come to you in a dream, they are talking with you. But it's not, a dream is yes, because we don't always remember our dreams, but the signs are here. They are able to give, for some, I don't understand how, but they're able to give us signs. And if you have a closed mind about these signs, you're not going to see them. But if you open up to the fact that, you know, don't consciously, but I can be driving along and I can ask my friend, especially Aldo, because he was very advanced here. He gave me much help in my 18 years that I knew him of where we were going. I'll ask for something and I may not even be aware that I did it. But sure enough, I'll turn on my radio in the car and a sign of a song that I know has to be him, or I'll see something. It's happened like now. It's happened over this last few weeks a lot. For some reason, he needs that I need his help right now. And I thank you, Aldo, and he's the one that guides me. But he's also helping, because he was advanced here, and this is another show, he's helping people on the other side to be able to give us signs.
And including Steve. Steve is going to be awesome.
I think that I have to break for a commercial right now, but we will continue this conversation on the other side of the commercial. Don't go anywhere. See you in a few minutes. My story starts at 4 or 5 years old. My name is Sally Bernard, and I was born at the end of the Second World War, in the middle of an air raid siren going off. My parents were in a movie theater, and my mother went into labor. My father ran out of the movie theater, but there was no cabs to be available because everybody is running for cover. However, they found one, and the taxi driver was given the address to take my father and my mother to the hospital. As my mother was in labor, about a half an hour, I arrived at exactly midnight. I think I was fed messages at a very early age. My parents used to like to play cards, and they had a card game every Wednesday or Thursday night at home when I was a baby. And I actually said to them one day, why do you keep waking me up at night? The card game is waking me up, and I can't get back to sleep so quickly. And they looked at each other and they said, we're not really waking her up. They were quite away from my bedroom. And they called in a psychic to say, what in the world is going on? And the psychic said that I'm getting many messages that are waking me up at night. I thought whatever I was experiencing, other people were experiencing too. You don't know until you realize that you are different. Many things were happening to me, things that were unexplainable to me. What I had dreamt was happening. I could sense many things, and the things that I was sensing were coming about, but something was going on. I will explain to you everything. You're ready.
A true story, Call Me Zena, is the telling of Sally Bernard. Born in London, England at the end of the Second World War, she came to the U.S. in 1979. A mother of 2 and grandmother of 4, she settled in Florida and worked in real estate. While going through a difficult time in her life, she was admitted into a hospital overnight in December of 2005. While settling back into her life, she began having vivid dreams and documenting them. By the 3rd dream, a lady gave her a message to draw. With no artistic background or interest in art or history, Sally listened to her dreams and grabbed paper and crayons. Today, she has over 150 pieces of inspiring art and poetry. This book follows her journey and interpretations of these messages. She describes in detail how she's able to astral project and who she has met along her travels, including her spirit guides. This book will show you how anything is possible with an open mind. These events have changed Sally's life's direction, and this book will show you how to change yours. Purchase Call Me Zena on Amazon today.
This world, this life, this illusion. What is going on, we ask? What is happening? Why not take time and see what is happening? This world as we know it, it seems so real, and yet so far away from where we've come. Corruption, greed, anger, power, revenge. Please wake up. We can change what is around us. How, we may ask. Learn to go back to where we were. Then we will have the clues. Then we can change and go forward. Please take the time. Do not fall into the game which we have put upon ourselves. We can change. We can make a difference. We have the power, each and every one of us. Go in peace. Go with love. Go as one. Zena.
Thank you for joining me through this journey of self-discovery with the help of my spirit guides. I'm Sally Bernard, and you can find my book and artwork by visiting artbysallybernard.com. Now back to the show.
Hi, welcome back to my show and my special guest, Alicia. Thank you for all the questions that you're asking me. I feel that we're on a very similar path, although maybe our background and what we believe in that doesn't matter is a little bit different, but we're a good example that it doesn't matter, right? Correct.
Well, you're a special soul, and
As you are too.
I identify with you.
It's all.
So I get it. I get it.
Thank you, Alicia, because although I don't want to bring religion or anything up, but it doesn't matter. As long as you have that faith, and I'm hearing and I see, am I not good? Is it me or it might be me because I left for a minute with
Me?
Look at your mic. Make sure it's on.
It's green.
Keep it here.
Are we okay? I believe that faith.
We're good. I just need her to go closer to the mouth.
Okay, I believe
could
that
be this.
as long as we believe in something, it doesn't matter. It's, as I said before, it's a power greater than ourselves.
I think that God is so beyond our capability to comprehend
Absolutely.
His greatness that's where faith is, blind faith
Yeah.
comes in.
Because we come into what I would call like the 3D dimension, and I know that you can relate to some of what I'm saying, but we forget when we're here. But if we start to raise our vibrational energy, we begin to see what is happening. We believe if we say something, it started with me. I would say something and I would want it, and suddenly it happened. I didn't understand that, but the more that it happened, I realized it wasn't just coincidental. I realized that what I was speaking was actually happening, so I began to believe more. When I began to believe more, I didn't have to even understand. I knew there was something. It was happening just very quickly and very briefly many years ago, and I had a very difficult time when I first came here. My background is I have had a lot of things happen to me. But just to say, I was walking on the beach, and I was from England, and I'm saying to myself, and I didn't have any money. I had money, but not a lot of money. I lost everything, but that's another story. I'm walking along the beach and I'm hungry. And I'm saying to myself, I would love to get breakfast. This was a long time ago. And I'm in the water, and suddenly I went like this, and there was a $5 bill.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So it woke me up. How did that happen? I went and got my breakfast.
Because back then you can get breakfast for $5.
I'm going back a long time, okay? But, you know, it's not that I didn't have the $5 for breakfast. I didn't have it on me at that point, but I was hungry. So these little things, just little things, which I have actually in my first book, some of the things that happened, I started to think, this can't be just coincidence. It isn't. There's something greater than ourselves that's going on.
You know, I love Yiddish words like beshert.
There you go.
And
yes.
so life gives you S-H-I-T. I don't know if I can say that
That's
word.
good.
Shitzu, let's say shitzu. And God makes it into beshert, which is, for those of you, if you don't know what beshert is, it means it's Yiddish for meant to be.
That's exactly
So
right.
you finding out that $5 that was meant to be, it was
Everything. I mean, I don't often push my new book that's coming out, but there's going to be a new version of Call Me Zena, and I've just spoken to the guy that's writing and doing the screenplay for me. He's getting near to completion on this, and some of the things that I did put in the book, everything that I wrote, obviously, is what happened to me, and it sounds like it was completely unexplainable, even when I read it, but the things that happened that could not possibly have been coincidental. I can't go into it, it'll take too long. But the stories that I was stubborn. I couldn't paint. I'd never painted in my life. I didn't even know anything about art. Behind me, I think on my screen, are some of the things that had happened. But then I began to believe that maybe I can paint, because here I'm drawing all these things and painting them. It's not me, and I say this all the time. I'm not special. I'm here to pass a message on that I've tapped into something. It's not about ego. It's not to say I know more than you or you know more than me. That's not how it works. Accept what's happening. They had to literally bang me on the head for me to begin to wake up and see what was happening, and it changed my life. It's changed my life completely.
You know, it reminds me of a quote from the Bible. I don't know exactly where it's from. It says something about God loves to reveal things to us, and man loves to discover. We love to discover new things.
Exactly.
God loves to reveal. So I love what you're saying, because your story just keeps manifesting and growing and evolving.
Well, I was lucky enough, and I say lucky enough, I don't believe it was coincidental for anybody that's followed my show, that my guide literally appeared to me and manifested himself. From an early age, he found me. He came in knowing all that I'm talking about, plus a lot more. And from the age of 1, he actually looked for me. He found me in my 60s, okay? But we became very good friends, and he opened up so much because I was ready. I was lucky enough to have what we call an Aldo. His name was Aldo in my life, who taught me so much. He transitioned. Actually, I believe he transitioned on your, I'm in a trance, on your birthday. And my husband, Steve, who's sitting here, was on the same day. Was that coincidental? No. I think it was make me see that there was something again. He's still giving me messages and still continues to give me messages. So again, I was lucky enough at that point when I really needed somebody, when things were happening to me that I couldn't understand, which was one, astral projection, if anybody knows about that. I thought knew nothing, but he entered a dream of mine, and he was here on earth in physicality, but I didn't know that. I met him, I had seen him, but I didn't know him, but he came into my life the following day that I had been flying in space, so to speak. It was an out-of-body experience. He explained everything to me about what I thought was a dream. So I needed something greater, much greater than what I believed, to begin to start me on this journey. And one of my first messages was, go and get some crayons and paint. He happened to be, listen to what they said to you, and told me every aspect of a dream. I couldn't have had it clearer, said to me, am I alone with this? It happens to all of us, but we just don't listen.
Did you meet Steve supernaturally?
No, We didn't really meet super last. We did the second time around. You came into my life it was through Facebook, quote Facebook here. He saw a message. Unfortunately, my daughter was going through a sickness at that point, and you wanted to find out and ask me exactly what had happened. That's another story, but he came into my life through me posting, which I don't do personal things ordinarily on Facebook.
Right, which I did not ask you about on Facebook, by
No,
the way.
you did
I called
not.
you.
So he called me, having known him for many years, but we had remained friendly. So you came into my life at that time.
You mentioned your painting a little while ago, and I'd like to just expand on that a little bit. As you've told your audience before, you could not draw, paint anything artistic until about 18 years ago.
Right.
And you've had many different styles over the years. Behind you are several paintings of the new style that you started with a few months ago. Very abstract and wonderful and meaningful.
Thank you.
What possessed you to change to that style, and could you tell us, did you receive any type of a message that made you paint that way?
Well, actually, the only thing that I can say, I know that if I stop painting, and you've seen this, my style has changed very much. But what happens if I give myself a break from a particular style? And I remember I said to you and a few other people, you know what, I need to go back to painting again. I'd given myself maybe a year this time. But how in the world am I going to do something different from all my other paintings which had been going on? Each style stays with me for about 6 or 7 months. It's abstract. What else can I do that would be different? This is what happened. I couldn't even visualize that I could do something different. And I love this
Is there
style.
some sort of a message in these new paintings, though?
Someone told me organized chaos.
That was me.
Oh,
It was
okay,
just
I
so
didn't
you
see that.
know.
I'm
'cause
sorry.
I keep
Thank
hearing
you.
you repeat that, and I'm
Thank
like,
you.
somebody, I'm like,
Oh, I'm so sorry, and I give you credit
I
for
don't
that.
care about the
You're
credit.
a
I
dear
just think
friend.
it's funny.
Yes.
Because I did it. I'm like, wow, it's like organized
But
chaos.
right now, when I'm talking to you, I'm in some sort of a trance, so I don't always remember what my brain is trying to tell me.
That's because your brain is probably going so
But
fast.
thank you for that. You know, I remembered organized chaos. I have other paintings. I don't know if there's anything else behind me. It seems to be this
I
style. which
love
is
that
fine.
piece over
There
there.
was-
Okay, this
there
is
was
another
There
one.
was a lady that said at the event that we had, Suncoast,
Suncoast, yes.
Suncase, said to
Suncoast.
me that your paintings were uplifting. And I asked her, why would you say that? And I wasn't, and I said, the artist over there, she said, no, she's busy because you were talking to some people. I think you were singing, actually. But she said to me that it was uplifting because she was going through a real bad time. And when she saw the energy in your paintings, it changed her feel. It changed how she was feeling because, you know, paintings are energy. And you touched upon this with some artists the other day. You had a couple of artists
Right.
on the show, and we had this conversation about, and it was funny because everybody that was involved in the conversation, everybody went to another level because it just changed. And that circle you had was people that had lost people.
I truly, I must say, I don't completely understand what I'm doing within my art, but I know that it is energy and it's coming from a different place. So if it's affecting me, it's not only going to affect me, it's going to affect the people around me that can feel that. And I've had that, and I thank you for that because I like to hear that, but I've had that because I also became very psychic when all this happened to me. I didn't know that, but I'm getting messages about people, and I also need that validation, but it's been very accurate what I'm saying. But I believe that that energy that I'm talking is coming to me internally too, to be able to give that message. As a very quick example, I started doing my messages psychically, and I was drawing to that person that I was talking to, and I was giving them the paper that I had been drawing on, giving them the message. And I have a couple of people that have written back to me, and this is from a long time ago, thanking me because every time they look at, it's not me, it's coming from somewhere else, but every time they look at that particular drawing that I did while I was giving them that message, that energy is still there on that piece of paper. And even though they may be going through something difficult, they pick up that paper and they say, it doesn't have to be my painting. It's what I was feeling at the time I was giving them that message. Thank you. It's come back when I look at that. So there is definitely, it's energy which we transmit. I am able to put that on paper, which is very important. I'm not the only one that can do that. It could be something that you could do that maybe I don't sing, although I'm beginning to sing a little bit. If you sung a song or you entertained, that energy within you, Alicia, which I recognize, is important because it's uplifting.
Well, you know, there's this book called The Purpose-Driven Life. Have you ever
Yes,
heard of
I
it?
have, yes.
There's a chapter that I love that is about how God has given us gifts, and we are given gifts to give, and it goes hand in hand with exactly what you're talking about.
Perfect. Absolutely, 100%. And we can all do that. But the first, as I'm going to say, and I believe I said this earlier, is to believe that we can do that. Because once you can, whatever, we all have different talents. If you think about it, and I go back to the fact that we're all one, but I see it's part of a jigsaw puzzle. This is what they're showing me. I have a talent, let's call it a gift. You have a gift. But when we meet together, it puts the pieces together.
It does, and
that
synchronizes,
which
yeah.
we have done. I feel that from the moment we
Darling,
met.
you and I, we can make music.
Yes,
darling.
absolutely. So you're going to be able to give the messages and I'm going to be able to sing. Okay, that's how
Amen.
it works. Okay,
Amen.
all right. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, any other message or any other thing that you'd like to ask me?
Is there a caller? You're saying? You're talking about us? Steve,
Go
did
ahead.
you have a question? You were going to say something? So, in terms of having noticed that there's a psychology behind your artwork?
There's a well, it's again, you know, and I don't know anybody that's listening to me. I'm sure that majority of people do believe in previous lives. I don't expect everyone to. I didn't till maybe 20 years ago, that there is something more than just this one lifetime. But I had to be woken up to that, very much so. And I was drawing things from previous lifetimes, not the drawings I'm doing now. I was doing sketches from centuries ago of people, places, and things that I hadn't seen. So that began to wake me up and going, how am I don't know how I'm able to do it, but it was in my memory somewhere. That's where my guide Aldo came in, who was here. And I know you don't know too much of the story, but he said, go into the internet, because today we are lucky enough to have an internet and look up things. And I'm seeing some
Remember
of the
this
signs.
encyclopedia?
That's right. Well, yes, exactly. But this is different now. I could actually see some of the things that I had drawn. So I needed to be woken up a lot, because I believed, but I didn't understand. Today I'm beginning to, because I'm following my path. And that's for anybody. It's for you. It's for anybody in the studio. That first step is to believe. You can't make anybody do anything. That I'm understanding too. There can be people maybe not listening to my show because by now they would have turned it off. But my message is for the ones that do want to believe. I have a message. I want to hear from them too. If you don't, then switch me off. That's fine. I can't save the world.
How would you save the world?
Can't. Again, by positive vibrational energy, okay?
That's the
which will
only
work.
way,
It's
you
the
know,
only
it's-
way. And I believe we attract. I mean, just here in the studio, and anybody here in the studio will let me know that. Since I've been here, and I've been doing my show now for about close to 17, 18 months, and Dawn, I know you can probably attest to this. We have brought in, and I don't know prior to me being here, but we have brought in, and you're especially, Alicia, but yes, we brought, I didn't bring you in, but you came here for whatever reason, and we've become very, very good friends.
Yes,
I
yes.
think we've noticed this, Dawn, over even us. Going to mention what happened
over
when
here,
I first met
Dawn.
Dawn. That's okay, why not? You're a beautiful sight to see. Walk in
Right?
front of
I
the
know.
camera. When I first came in, Dawn, I'll let you settle down, and get seated.
Dawn, you're funny.
What were the first things, just to let the audience know that I'm not just saying this. You saw, I brought him some paintings, I believe, the first day or second time.
Yes, and I
came in.
had a dream about one that was of, I guess, the forest.
Yes.
And then the second one you brought in, I didn't realize that I started looking at it. It looks just like my wands. All the stars and everything, my necklace and everything I always wear has a star on it. And that just came to be through evolution. I didn't even realize it. And then I looked at your picture and it just incorporated all of my stars.
So what we're saying about how, yes, it could be coincidence. And let's say it had just stopped there at the cafe, but it didn't. It
Right.
continued and continued. If you don't mind me saying, even to the fact we were joking about fairies before. I believe very much in fairies, but as you do too, we were talking about Tinkerbell for anybody that
I'm
might
going to
be
start
listening.
calling you Tinkerbell.
Okay, that's okay. That's a compliment.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's crazy how this works. It is crazy, but it does work. I mean, the fact that I came in here, this to me is a place where it's magical to me. So it's magical
It's
to anybody.
magical.
And it is
It's
we were
magical.
talking about that.
And you know, and I want to just bring that up about 2024. I came into this year knowing that this year is going to be a pivotal year in history because I think that everything that was hidden is being surfaced, which is happening, even though we're having wars and all of that. At the same time, a lot of truth is surfacing. That's why, you know, when you hear things that's happening in the media or things in Hollywood or whatever that sort, I think there's going to be a lot of breakthroughs. There has already. We're almost halfway done with the year before we know it. Can you believe it?
Right.
What do you foresee for the rest of this year?
Well, I believe and I've said this, I think, before, we're at a crossroad. Can we make a difference? I think we were talking about that. Yes, we can make a difference. But if we believe we can't, then it's not going to work. I'm not saying that there's going to be a great big happy ending. I don't know. But I know that we need to go through all I know, and I hear the word transition. Earth is a soul, is a spirit. Mother Earth is a spirit. Mother Earth, and we say mother because it gives birth to
Life,
many
yeah.
things, life, has the same feelings, but maybe in a different type. And I know you're relating this, is making me want to cry. So let's give Mother Earth the recognition of what she's giving us. Let's stop all this
Nonsense.
just nonsense. Let's try and believe that, because let's be honest in my mind about this, she's had enough, wouldn't you, if all this was going on? We all have the capability, just as Alda used to say, within our own body, the same thing is happening to our cells. We can make ourselves better, as you know. We can continue with sickness and illness if we don't believe that. Talk to your body, talk within. And I think I have 5 more minutes to talk about this. Just know that everything is what we call alive. Our body, our earth, our friends.
Our
Talk to yourself.
intention,
Our
yeah.
intention. Put forth intention. Let's put forth good intention. First of all, it starts with us. So let's talk within our body. As Alda used to say, we're the body's universe of ourselves. And every single thing inside us is a cell that's responding, absolutely responding. Disease. Let's say to ourselves, I don't want this. I want to be
Yes.
healthy.
Yes.
Don't put anything that's toxic.
Not-
Very
yes,
important. And
yes.
I'm not here, it's controversial about the jabs, the shots, I know that. But let's try and begin to understand that. And suddenly, actually, within ourselves, we change and say, I don't want that. I don't want that. Maybe we're right, maybe we're wrong. I don't know. But let's see that this can happen. I believe that it's true.
Me
I
too.
believe absolutely. And I'm mentioning, you know, I talk to people about this, and I'm not here to say don't have vaccinations and shots. You do what is best for you. I personally have chosen to go within myself and understand that I can heal myself. There is a time that I won't be able to because I'm meant to transition. But right now, I feel that very strongly. So my message is start within yourself. Believe that you can help yourself. Don't feed into the negativity because your body responds to that. Let's put all this vibrational energy out, starting with ourselves. Even if you don't believe it, and I've said this many times, fake it till you make it. Absolutely.
I'm with you. Yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
We've only just met a little while ago, but I feel I've known you lifetimes,
Eons
as I
ago.
do it with Dawn too. Absolutely, because within ourselves we have this feeling. I know that you relate. I know that Dawn relates. How do I explain it? I don't know. But the more I talk about it, more people will respond to that, just as you, Steve. You will begin to open up your mind. Does it happen at once? No, it didn't happen with me. But you have to make a start. Open and expand what is going on. And you know what? The people will come to you. The people that feel the same, that have other messages. I'm not giving all the messages that I meant to. There's somebody else to continue where I'm leaving off. But it works. It's like a dominoes effect. It works. It absolutely works. It's worked for me. And again, I'm not special, but I opened up to this.
You
Please,
are extra special.
Well, thank you for that, but I'm here to just spread the word, Alicia.
Isn't she like a little girl to me? Like, not like a little girl, like, you
No,
know.
that's
but
all
I
right.
mean, she's bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and sweet as ever, and
Thank
full
you,
of
son.
wisdom.
Thank you, but I am just one of many people. It's not me. And I think once we start but I thank you so much for that. But once we start thinking, if I thought, well, I am greater than you, I don't believe these things would happen. It's not about ego.
Well, that's
it's
ego.
nice to
Yeah.
have that.
Yes.
I'm not
Yes.
taking that lightly. Thank you so much.
Yes.
But what we put out is important because I believe that we all can do this. Are we all ready to do this? No. But once you start, you will start your journey and it will take you to fantastic places.
And we have to appreciate ourselves and others. And if we do that, then we're appreciating what life is all about and not taking it for granted.
Gratitude.
Gratitude.
Gratitude is so important. Don't, I'm not going to say don't expect it because we can get what we expect, even if it's good or bad. But have that gratitude, and we're looking for the right reasons to expect that. That's a better way to put it. We can have $1 million, but maybe that's not what we need to have. Maybe a little bit less.
What you
What we
want is not what you need.
Exactly,
Yes,
and I know you
yes.
understand that.
Yes.
And that's so important to realize that. You can get anything, good or bad, but we have to put that in perspective.
But if anybody wants to donate $1 million to Sally, I'm sure she'll be very happy.
Absolutely. But thank you for that.
The check out to me.
But also humor, which I know, just to finish the show with this,
Yes.
we both believe in humor. I mean, it's
yes.
so important to
yes.
not bring that, to raise that vibration. I often say, if I hadn't done this, I'm sorry I started so late, but at least I did, I would have been a comedian. I love humor, love humor.
And a singer and
Well, yes, but
dancer.
you know what? This is what I was able to tap into, but plus the humor. It's very important.
Yeah.
It lifts your vibrational energy.
Well, you know what? But everything is at the right time because in one way or the other, it's the perfect time.
Exactly. And we get what we put out. In fact, you're sitting on my show and we relate so much. It's not
I
like we've
know.
even talked for hours about this, but I know you understand what I'm saying. Plus, I know I understand what you're saying. How does this, we met here a little while ago in the
Yeah.
studio, right?
We have a natural bond. I'm
We do.
sure the audience
And
will
I
pick
think
up on that.
waving me, bye-bye, everybody. I'll see you
Bye.
this time next week.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. I think we went a minute over, but that's okay. Thank you.
You have been watching Call Me Zena with your host, Sally Bernard. As an artist, author, and spiritual experiencer, know that you can always seek me out for resources by visiting artbysallybernard.com. Join us next week, Mondays at 2:30. Have a blessed day.